Remarkably, a bunch of young, healthy people in Hollywood started experiencing things like face paralysis and brain clots.
With the Hollywood agenda in full swing, many unspeakable things have occurred on live television, but not many can speak out against it due to the fear of being canceled. But it seems Samuel Jackson is one of the few that has stood up against this scheme that exerts pressure to censor many such instances. It looks like the higher-ups are afraid of the truth being exposed. Let's delve into the inner workings of the industry that will surely leave you speechless. Samuel Jackson, one of the powerhouses of Hollywood, has recently highlighted the rising numbers of cancer in men. Jackson has alluded that actors and celebrities must take care of their health, as this silent disease can go easily unnoticed. It's pretty alarming that the speed at this disease has allegedly been becoming as common as the flu in elitist social circles.
And making men aware of what they need to do to protect themselves, or to at least get early detection so that they can be treated.
Quote, I have friends who have passed away. I have had friends who have had scares. I've had friends who have got early detection and got treated and now they're clear. Having risen to fame in films like Goodfellas and Jurassic Park, Jackson has fronted health campaigns such as cancer charity One for the Boys. Back in 2015, together with the charity, the actor hoped to conquer problems with men's health. Quote, when it comes to men, we're literally letting ourselves die. I play golf with guys who have skin cancer, but they didn't tell me until I saw them on the golf course with a band-aid on their face. Samuel himself faced a health scare a few years back as he drastically started losing weight. But the star soon put rumors to bed, in an interview saying, quote, because I was losing weight, people thought I was dying. They feared I had cancer, but I was just on a hardcore vegan regime. My doctor said it was my greatest chance of staying alive, and it worked. I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, lowered my cholesterol levels, and my body mass index. Think about it. It's a pretty commonly held opinion that taking a COVID-19 vaccine will save your life. However, others believe that the mainstream media has repeatedly censored the truth that different people react differently to these vaccines.
CHI Memorial vaccinated its first group of frontline workers. A little over 15 minutes receiving the shot, one nurse took questions from reporters and then fainted.
Now that right-wing and left-wing media are controlling different media outlets, the news regarding the so-called meteoric rise in the number of strokes in healthy people has been censored on left-wing media and overly talked about on right-wing media. Polly Perrette opened up about suffering a massive health scare. In a social media post, she revealed, "It's 9/2. 1 year ago, I had a massive stroke. Before that, I lost so many beloved family and friends, and daddy and then cousin Wayne. Yet still a survivor after this traumatic life I've been given so far, and still so grateful, still so full of faith, and still here."
It's September 2nd. It's the 1-year anniversary since I had a stroke, and I'm still here.
Some are also blaming the vaccine on another television star, Bronny James, who is a freshman strangely suffering a cardiac arrest while he was playing basketball.
Bronny James, the son of NBA star LeBron James, is in the hospital after suffering cardiac arrest. It happened yesterday during practice at USC.
Thankfully, he survived the otherwise lethal issue. It is quite strange for a healthy teenager to get attacked without any prior symptoms. James's family revealed that the medical team got to their son in time. LeBron and Savannah wish to publicly send their deepest thanks and appreciation to the USC medical and athletic staff for their incredible work and dedication to the safety of their athletes. You might be shocked to know that it was the second time in this year the USC medical staff has responded to a men's basketball player suffering cardiac arrest during practice. Center Vince Iwuchukwu collapsed also at a practice last summer and was revived by USC athletic trainers. He made a full recovery and returned to the basketball court 6 months later. In a similar case, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest after making a tackle during a game, causing the NFL to suspend a pivotal game against the Cincinnati Bengals that quickly lost significance in the aftermath of a scary scene that unfolded in front of a national television audience.
Another Bills player is down. Can't tell exactly who that is. Maybe Hamlin.
Not just in sports, mysterious cases have been popping up in the entertainment industry as well. Tori Kelly, the famous songwriter, was reportedly in the hospital after collapsing out of nowhere. TMZ reported that the Nobody Loves singer fainted after her heartbeat quickened while out with friends in downtown Los Angeles. Kelly's friends then transported her to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center for treatment, where doctors found blood clots around her lungs and legs. Just like all these cases, Kelly's condition was really serious as Kelly had been in and out of consciousness.
I actually ended up collapsing one night, and they found out that I had blood clots. And it was really crazy and scary.
Conspiracy theorists believe that they might be an aftermath of the COVID jabs.
People just get furious about it, and they're furious if anybody talks about any negative side effects, even if it's accurate.
Candace Owens also hinted at an experimental drug being forced into people's bodies.
It was very weird for me when conservatives and liberals alike were suddenly in lockstep, encouraging people to get an experimental vaccine. It just seemed very strange to me.
She alluded that since the jabs were not properly tested, as she said, people suffered from irredeemable consequences due to it.
You're not going to get your health back if it deteriorates, if you get some lifelong illness. So it's interesting to me that money compelled people to do things that they were uncomfortable with.
Again, in her opinion, Candace claimed that many of these mysterious occurrences have been the result of the jabs.
Remarkably, a bunch of young, healthy people in Hollywood started experiencing things like face paralysis and brain clots.
For those who don't remember, just last year, Justin Bieber revealed he had been struck by a virus that caused half of his face to be temporarily paralyzed. The Canadian superstar was forced to cancel dates in North America. Quote, "As you can probably see from my face, I have this syndrome called Ramsay-Hunt, and it is from this virus that attacks the nerve in my ear and my facial nerves, and has caused my face to have paralysis. As you can see, this eye is not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. It's pretty serious. I wish this wasn't the case, but obviously my body's telling me I gotta slow down."
Justin Bieber, whose face just magically went paralyzed, and he was on tour, which would signal to me that he definitively got the COVID-19 shot, but again...
Well, lightning struck twice in the Bieber households because his wife was then also impacted with a droopy face and a blood clot in her brain. Haley opened up about what she called the scariest moment of her life. It came after she shocked fans by revealing that she had suffered a mini stroke. Bieber recalled experiencing numbness in her fingers and a shooting pain that migrated down her arm one morning while having breakfast with her husband. Quote, "I couldn't speak. The right side of my face started drooping. I couldn't get a sentence out. I had so many things running through my head, number one being I'm having a stroke. I'm really scared. I don't know why this is happening. Am I going to have permanent issues from this?" Fortunately for her, Bieber was able to get rushed to the hospital where she underwent a series of tests that confirmed she was not having a full-on stroke, but suffering from a small blood clot in her brain known as a transient ischemic attack, which is commonly referred to as a mini stroke. Quote, "It definitely feels like having a stroke, except my body was able to resolve it pretty quickly and then I didn't have any more issues for the whole rest of the day and the whole rest of the time that I was in the hospital." Although these types of occurrences are not rare, the data shows that they have skyrocketed after the pandemic.
We're normalizing people that are in their 20s thinking that they're having strokes, having face paralysis. Is that normal now? We're doing that as well as young kids having heart attacks.
Another disheartening incident that took place was when the renowned actor Jamie Foxx had to be hospitalized for unknown reasons. It looks like our favorite celebrity suffered from stroke-like symptoms, but nothing more has been released to the media. The cause, damage, and other details are still unknown.
Jamie Foxx suffered a very serious medical emergency that landed him in the hospital.
Even without the specifics, the rumors state that the emergency was severe. According to reports, Jamie was in Atlanta where he was filming his new film Back in Action with Cameron Diaz. His medical condition was so bad that family members flew from overseas to be with Jamie.
It was bad. Bad enough that family members from outside of Atlanta, there were some in Atlanta, but family members from outside flew in.
TMZ's sources explained that the doctors have decided to keep the actor at the hospital while they run tests and determine what exactly happened to him. However, there are online rumors that indicate Fox suffered a stroke. It has not been confirmed by doctors or the family, but we can all tell this is extremely serious. Additionally, Hollywood journalist AJ Benza claimed that Fox has been left paralyzed paralyzed and blind after taking the COVID vaccine. While appearing on an episode of the Dr. Drew online show, Benza revealed that Jamie has been allegedly suffering from several health complications, quoting his source as someone in the room with knowledge about Fox's health. Benza said, quote, "Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the shot. He did not want the shot, but the movie he was in, he was pressured to get it. The blood clot in the brain caused him at that point to be partially paralyzed and blind." He explained that prior to the emergency, Jamie had been facing various behavioral problems. I am thinking, is that why he blew up on the set a week before this medical emergency happened? Is that why he fired 3 or 4 people because he had it with these mandates? Note that nobody close to the situation has actually confirmed these as being related to COVID-19 vaccines. Candace believes it is rather suspicious, though, that all the health scares have taken place in the span of time when every celeb was getting vaccines. It is pretty suspicious that the whole situation about Fox has been kept a secret. Many speculate it is because of the truth, and nobody wants the truth to come out because the truth is damaging to a culture and a society. On top of that, those who believe something different than the mainstream narrative are often called a conspiracy theorist. But as in these cases, there is a plausible excuse. Jamie Foxx's PR team posted a message claiming that he didn't want to appear weak in front of his fans. "I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I wanted you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was going to make it through. It's been tough, but now I got my legs under me. I just wanted to jump on the internet and let you know I'm on my way back." Fans all over the world claim that Jamie was forced to take the jab. Nobody should ever be pressured into doing something that they don't believe is right or don't want to do because they have to keep their job, whether that be a nurse, an airline pilot, a doctor, or an actor. I feel sorry for Jamie Foxx and for what happened to him, and I pray that he recovers completely. I also pray that he has the courage to speak out against this horrific tyranny. Jimmy Dore, a vaccine skeptic, pointed out that during the COVID era, no one was allowed to ask questions.
You weren't allowed to ask questions at any point during this. You just had to do what the man on the TV said.
Now to get answers, Denzel Washington, the unsung warrior of truth, has wielded his fame and influence not only to captivate audiences on the big screen, but also to disrupt the comfort of the alleged elitist officials. You see, Denzel has been a thorn in their side for years. Since his early days, he has been challenging the status quo with unwavering determination. In a landscape often marred by hypocrisy, he has dared to turn the spotlight on the media, exposing their double standards and shedding light on the shadows they often prefer to ignore.
What a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth.
Denzel's relentless pursuit of truth has transcended his roles as an actor and director, establishing him as a formidable force for change within the industry and beyond. He revealed that the news outlets are insensitive towards the devastating consequences of their news on the people. Quote, "If you don't read the newspaper, you are uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed. In our society, now it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy." Denzel didn't hold back as he highlighted a glaring hypocrisy among Hollywood's upper ranks. He pointed out their audacity to preach to the public while conveniently sidestepping the genuine issues faced by everyday individuals. But that was merely the tip of the iceberg. You might not believe that a study by researchers at the UCLA Stroke Center examined the frequency at which Oscar-nominated actors have suffered from strokes and cardiovascular disease. They discovered that strokes have taken an enormous toll on the lives of leading actors and actresses. According to the study, of the 409 actors and actresses nominated for a Best Actor or Best Actress Oscar since 1927, 30, 7.3%, suffered strokes, and 39, 9.5%, suffered heart attacks. More women suffer strokes than men, 60%. For 20% of these women, the strokes were fatal. Performers' screen appearances declined an average of 73% during the 3 years following a stroke or heart attack. Hannah Smith, a staff research associate at the UCLA Stroke Center, explained, "By documenting the toll that stroke and myocardial infarction have exacted on stars like Kirk Douglas and Grace Kelly, we hope to illustrate the damage that cardiovascular disease can cause." Apart from that, we know that Wendy Williams has been a firm anti-vax supporter in the beginning. When medical professionals tried to convince her her to get jabbed, she said, quote, "No, I don't trust it. I've never gotten the flu shot either though, and you and I have talked about that. Several of the doctors on my team have told me, Wendy, get the flu shot. I've never had the flu. I'm not getting a flu shot. I very rarely get a cold. I never have headaches. I don't take aspirin because I feel my heart murmur or something like that. I'm not getting, no, I don't trust it. There, I said it." But after persistent pressure, Wendy had to get vaxxed. But as fate would have it, she tested positive for a breakthrough case of COVID-19. While it made some wonder what the vaccine actually did, it's important to remember that the World Health Organization has said from the beginning that the vaccine does not stop infection, it just stops it from getting you really sick. A statement posted on the Wendy Williams Show's official Instagram page read, "While continuing her health evaluations, Wendy has tested positive for a breakthrough case of pandemic. To allow Wendy time to quarantine and fully recover, and to ensure that our production abides by all SAG-AFTRA and DGA pandemic protocols." Interestingly, almost a week later, the show announced that she was undergoing health evaluations for unspecified reasons. Quote, "Wendy is dealing with some ongoing health issues and is undergoing further evaluations." Williams suffered another crisis in 2019 when she announced she had been diagnosed with lymphedema. She revealed she found out she had the disease while on vacation. Lymphedema, by the way, I've been diagnosed with. It's not going to kill me, but I do have a machine. And how dare you talk about the swelling of it all? I've got it under control, and if the swelling in my feet and lower things never go all the way down, at least I have this machine. Aside from Wendy, Amelia Clark also suffered a health scare that actually endangered her life. This is how Amelia described her illness in her own words. Quote, "I was getting dressed in the locker room of a gym in Crouch End, North London, when I started to feel a bad headache coming on. I was so fatigued that I could barely put on my sneakers. When I started my workout, I had to force myself through the first few exercises. Then my trainer had me get into the plank position, and I immediately felt as though an elastic band were squeezing my brain. I tried to ignore the pain and push through it, but I just couldn't. I told my trainer I had to take a break. Somehow, almost crawling, I made it to the locker room. I reached the toilet, sank to my knees, and proceeded to be violently ill. Meanwhile, the pain, shooting, stabbing, constricting pain, was getting worse. At some point, I knew what was happening. My brain was damaged. But when she was taken to the hospital for a medical checkup, she was diagnosed with a stroke. Amelia explained that her condition was so severe that there was negligible chance of her survival. Quote, "I was sent for an MRI, a brain scan. The diagnosis was quick and ominous. A subarachnoid hemorrhage, SAH, a life-threatening type of stroke caused by bleeding into the space surrounding the brain. I'd had an aneurysm, an arterial rupture. As I later learned, about a third of SAH patients die immediately or soon thereafter. For the patients who do survive, urgent treatment is required to seal off the aneurysm, as there is a very high risk of a second, often fatal bleed. If I was to live and avoid terrible deficits, I would have to have urgent surgery, and even then, there was no guarantee. Although by some miracle, Amelia survived. Many others were not so lucky. Less than 2 weeks after John Singleton suffered a massive stroke, the trailblazing filmmaker died in Los Angeles at the age of 51. The director, who made history with 1991's Boys in the Hood as the youngest person and first African-American ever nominated for a Best Director Oscar, lost his life at Cedars-Sinai Hospital after his family took him off life support. His family issued a statement saying, quote, "We are sad to relay that John Singleton has died. John passed away peacefully surrounded by his family and friends. We want to thank the amazing doctors at Cedars-Sinai Hospital for their expert care and kindness, and we again want to thank all of John's fans, friends, and colleagues for all of the love and support they showed him during this difficult time. Fans all over the world mourn the loss of such a talented director. Quote, R.I.P. Mr. Singleton, the Lord called you home. He felt your task here on earth had been completed. Your family is secure in your bounty and love. You laid the groundwork and laid the path for others to follow. You were fearless and honest, and this brought you much joy in your life. R.I.P. Mr. Singleton, much love and respect." You might not be aware that the legendary actor and comedian Sinbad was also a victim of a stroke that left him hooked up to a ventilator and in a medically induced coma. The legend is working diligently towards making a full recovery, promising his fans he won't stop until he can make it back on stage again. Sinbad also shared a message of his own on the website, writing to his many supporters, quote, "Thank God for everything he's given you, even if it's not everything you asked for. Thank God for family and hug the ones you love while you're still with them. We need each other to get through this journey. I can't wait to see you all again soon. As always, stay funky, stay prayed up." Sinbad is typically a private person despite his fame. However, the comedian's family hopes that by going public with his health battle, Sinbad's fans can help contribute to his recovery. Quote, "The family wants to make sure that he's continuing to get the proper treatment and rehabilitation that he needs. It's the people that are coming together to raise money for Sinbad to help him continue to do what he needs to do to get better. I know him well enough to know that he's a hard worker, he's a fighter, and he has all the right people around him. His wife Meredith is amazing. I just know that we'll see him back on stage doing what he loves to do, entertaining the people, very soon. Probably sooner than a lot of people expect. But I also know that he's taken all the right steps as far as physical therapy, diet, and everything he needs to make sure that he is ready to go when he steps back out there and starts." Fans send healing vibes to their legend in their prayers. Quote, "We love you, King Sinbad, and we are sending you healing, speedy recovery prayers, and healthy blessings. Keep going and stay strong in spirit, and our Father God will lead you and give you your health back to a 100% recovery." Another added, quote, "Sinbad, never forget you're one of the most beloved people in this country. I've missed you since your stroke. And brother, all I want and other people want as well is for you to get better. You're number one in my prayers." All in all, Samuel has highlighted a highly suspicious medical culture that has been taking the whole Hollywood industry by storm. In the eyes of some, there is an elitist agenda at play here, bearing its fruits in the worst way possible.